Hello and welcome back to SpriteGuard Plays HyperRogue or Strategy Mode. Apologies for the lack of Classic Mode lately. I have been kind of overwhelmed with the prospect of editing it. Basically episode 2 of Series 40 went weirdly, and I misspoke a lot, and so I need to re-record what I was doing, and it became very daunting. I'm thinking about just starting Series 41 and saying, you know what, Series 40 was nice, but I don't know, maybe I'll put up a little bit of a video justifying it, I don't know. But hey, today we are playing Orb Strategy Mode, still on a very long adventure, and I'm still not sure where we should go to get those 50 treasures, where's going to be best. It seems like we are facing a lot of big problems, and it's not really clear how we're going to take them on. We could really use more Orbs of Thorns, but we had a pretty disastrous foray into the Dry Forest last time we tried that. And so I'm a little bit reluctant to do that. Now, we have a hive here, we have a nest, and we can orbit around this nest, and there will be a lot of area that we can see just going a little ways around this nest. And so we can try to find ourselves another nest that's near it. So there's a red nest, so we can aggro these green hyperbugs. And there's a blue nest. Wow, I lost track of it. Okay, so there's the red nest. I think maybe I can't get to it at this point, so we'll just go to this blue one, aggro them, and we're actually going to loop around here and try to find our way back. Ooh, dear. Okay, never mind. These guys apparently de-aggro a lot more easily than I expected, which actually makes sense, because the ones in back are not going to know about the blue nest. They're only going to know about me. So I was hoping we could get back to that green nest and find our way back to the crossroads because of that, but it looks like that's not going to happen. So let's just try and play this a little more carefully. And here is a red nest. So we want to, once again, stay out of the way of it. I think I remember hearing that their aggro radius increases. So here we go. So here's a green nest. So let's aggro these guys and bring them to the hive. And there they go, fighting each other. And as the knight says, I like to watch the hyperbug battles. And it looks like they are staying pretty close together in number. Little bit of swings in their battle. Oh dear, the Relia is, I heard something spawn, I'm not sure what. Looks like maybe it was just a cult leader. So let's head in here and see what we can find. Now, I don't know if we can find our way back to that red nest. There's quite a lot of room, quite a lot of different places it could be, and it's probably not... Oh, that actually is probably it? Oh, that's not it. That's not it at all. Alright, so here's another green nest. So let's watch this from afar again. And we have some rogue hyperbugs now. And those are actually going to start complicating things a bit. And it looks like the green hyperbugs have actually overwhelmed the red ones by quite a lot. And so now we have a pretty big problem. We can try to get these guys lined up, but we're probably going to lose the nest. And there's some rogue hyperbugs helping us out, but the chance of getting back to the nest at this point is extremely small. Like, I think it was past this Red Rock Valley, but beyond that, I really don't know. And it is virtually impossible to find your way back anywhere once you have gotten lost. Here, though, is a crossroads, not particularly useful right now, since we only have, 15 treasures? We should have the Orb of Invisibility right now, and so one of the things we can think about is there some way that we could use that? Is there some land where that would be useful to us? Okay, I saw a blue nest. There's a blue nest. Oh, they got distracted by something. Oh, looks like by a red hyperbug. So we have to really be mindful of rogue hyperbugs as we're standing back and watching this battle. Looks like they're staying relatively even. We'll have a few more blue hyperbugs to deal with, but not that much. And in we go. And so we get these in fairly big clumps. And so it won't actually take us that many nests, but I suspect that this land will get very difficult eventually. Alright, so here's another very convenient pairing. So we can lead these red bugs over to this blue nest. And once again, watch them battle it out, but it looks like there's a pretty big mismatch in the size of the forces. And so that could leave us, that's going to leave us with, once again, a really big swarm to deal with, and no very good way of dealing with it that won't get us lost. Now, I believe there's a way to use the weird rocks to navigate, but I haven't really been able to figure out how to do that. Because I don't have a memory for colors. That's one of the awkward parts of being colorblind, is that even when I can tell two colors apart, I don't really notice and remember colors. And so that means that navigating by weird rocks is really, the difficulty of that is compounded. So it looks like rogue hyperbugs are becoming a lot more common. And so we really don't want to aggro an army until we have a place to take them. Because if we have an army on our tail and a rogue hyperbug comes up in front of us, that could end up being very bad for us. Now, I don't remember if... Oh, and I accidentally aggroed it, even after I said I wouldn't. So we want to stay ahead of it, and we want to, as quickly as possible, find ourselves another nest that we can get to relatively easily. Now we can use a kind of Land of Eternal Motion type strategy. Here we go. Here's a red nest. So those two will fight amongst themselves, and we will deal with these rogue... Oh, nope. Oh my. Yeah, some of them look like they're about to get to us, and then they back off because there are green hyperbugs to fight. But now, once again, really big swarm of red hyperbugs, and I'm wondering if this is just kind of one of the ways that this game makes the Hive a lot harder. Because this is really something that I do not know how to deal with. So, oh, that's the overview. Let's look at the inventory. So, how many orbs of invisibility do we have? Looks like we have 3 already. So we could use one to escape from the situation, possibly pick up those treasures. So, actually, let's try that. So they can't see me now, so I want to... Oops. I want to try and follow back along them. No, they keep finding me. They keep bumping into me. Oh, and we do not get very many charges on that. So that did not work out. But there we go. We're invisible for just long enough to escape. Oh, not long enough to escape. Okay. Then let's use this blue nest to try and create a diversion. That blue nest did not create a diversion. Well, this one? That's very strange. I wonder why not. Alright, so those green bugs will actually do a little bit of work for us. But they're still after us. Oh, let's see, nope, that blue one did not do very much. Maybe that green one will help us, I can't really tell. Oh, it looks like they actually somehow de-aggroed. I don't really know what happened. They must have gotten distracted for just long enough. And I am not going to complain. Got some more red nests. A jungle. How are we on the jungle? Let's see, 32 rubies. Now this is a really dangerous area that I don't know how to play at high numbers. Yeah, I'm already not liking the look of this. So much for that idea. Let's see, what's this? Vineyard. See, we have a couple of nests nearby each other. But it looks like, let's see. Well, I've already lost track of the other nest, which is frustrating. So I'm not playing too hot today, which is a little bit of a surprise. I thought things were going pretty well today. Alright, so I believe they will... Let's see, will they follow us out of the nest? They will. Okay. So how can we deal with... Oh, there's only 3 of them followed us out. That's not too bad. Alright, spice. We have 26 spice. So maybe the desert is a place worth looking at. Now, the desert, I kind of know it's going to be throwing a lot of sandworms at us. It's going to be throwing a lot of desert men at us. Let's just use good tactics and play carefully. I have been actually, on my own time, I have been playing the heck out of a couple of games that I think may have helped me as a gamer in general. And those games are Caves of Cud and Heat Signature, which just came out and is already looking like my game of the year. Alright, so I have not been playing as carefully as I need to be, and I think we're going to want an Orb of Earth. Let's see, do we have that? Orb of the Mind. Orb of Earth. So this is actually going to really change how this area plays. It's going to give us some protection from the rear. And it's going to give us a little bit more option. Oh dear. But I still walked right into a pincher situation. So, still would really like to have Orb of Thorns, but do not. And so we need to look at what else could help us out. Orb of Life. Gotta remember to use the Orb of Life in sticky situations before we get into a panic situation. Orb of Domination could also be really useful here. I don't think you can pick up treasures while you're riding something, but it could be useful. I don't know. So we did get another Orb of Shielding, and we expect to get a few more of those, so let's see what we can do with that. Try to make the best of it, and try to make something happen with our Orb of Earth as well. We should also be using Thumpers a lot more strategically. But this Orb of Earth is giving us almost an Eternal Motion effect, and it looks like we have it active for quite a while. And those Thumpers will de-aggro Desert Men. It won't de-aggro ones that are right on your tail, but it will de-aggro quite a lot of them, as well as I believe it will also de-aggro the sandworms. And we are almost out of earth charges, but that really did help us out in a few different ways. So I was talking about these games I was playing, and something that both of these games do really well is they get you attached to your character in a way that I haven't seen a lot of games do. And as much as I love this game, I don't really get attached to any one character. I'm kind of attached to this one, but, you know, they all feel the same, and, I mean, because they are all the same. There's no, not really builds. I mean, Orb Strategy Mode has builds, but in a much subtler way than either of these games that I'm talking about, and that's actually anyway. My point is that both of those games actually do some really cool stuff to get you attached to your character, and that has kind of been teaching me to play a little more carefully. Alright, so now I'm actually going to use the Orb of Life. But let's see. You have to move to give space to the golem. Okay, so that was a mistake. So you have to use the Orb of Life before there's anyone touching you. Alright, so we're once again basically in a game over... Oops. Game over situation. And that's actually... That was a funny thing that I just did there. I pressed A, and I was talking about really enjoying Caves of Cud. In Caves of Cud, A opens up your skills menu. And so that's what just happened right there. A little bit of crosstalk. And let's see, an Orb of Ether would be incredibly useful here and not in a lot of other situations. So do we have that? We do not have that available. So is there anything else that we can use that would get us out of here that would not normally? And I don't see anything. Orb of Shielding, once again, very powerful in this situation. An Orb of Flash, I think, let's take a look at the situation. So would an Orb of Flash allow us to get to the exit? I don't think it would. And so this is kind of the... We're really getting into what I kind of think of as peak roguelike. You know, HyperRogue is a very different game from what you think of as traditional roguelikes, and so what I would consider peak HyperRogue is very different from what I would consider peak roguelike. And what I see right here is actually the situation that I most love to be in Caves of Cud, where I am faced with seemingly insurmountable odds, and I have to really take a look at my gear and figure out if there's something that I can use, what the best thing for me to use is. And I think that Orb of Teleport is our best option here. Let's see, Orb of Speed would let us... Let's see, Orb of Speed would let us kill both of these guys, but then it would not get us out of this situation. I don't think. You know what? Let's try it, because we don't have a lot of situations. There we go. Alright, so that was some great tactical thinking, IMO. And we have a bunch of stuff after us. We can leave it in the dust pretty easily. So that's what we're going to do. And we're going to be on the hunt for an Orb of Safety. And so I didn't really finish saying what I was trying to say, because we got into some very sticky situations. But basically, both of those games have ways of getting you invested in the character. Heat Signature does it the best. It gives each character a personal mission that makes them feel that little bit more unique and alive. And then Caves of Cud, you get these, you know, really heavily specialized builds, and you know, you can put hours into a character, which I think we actually have quite a bit of time. 300 minutes, that's a few hours, isn't it? So yeah, this has been a long and exciting adventure, and I am getting attached to this character, but what I was kind of trying to call out there is that playing those games where each character feels really different from every other has, I think, given me a little bit more of a sense of how to play roguelikes in general. because I do not play this game the way that I ought to be playing it. I do not play it anywhere near as carefully as I know I should be. And I know that that hurts my runs. I know that that, gets me into a lot of situations that I should not have gotten into in the first place. And so I'm going to continue trying to play more carefully and just, it's one of those things that it's always going to be little increments of improvement. And it's really important to not try and make myself make all of the improvement at once, because that's not possible. And so what I need to do is I just need to, be aware that this is an area of improvement, and continue to be aware and continue to bring my attention back to it every time I notice myself slipping. And I have gotten a lot better at this game than I was when I started. I have gotten more attentive, and I'm going to keep getting more attentive. And all of that is coming up in the future. Until then, thank you very much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.